Welcome to the Business Leadership Series, where we engage with leaders who are making an impact on their worlds and who want to share their knowledge and experience for your personal and professional growth. The following interview is designed to inspire you to become the best leader you can be. Your host, Derek Champagne, is the founder and CEO of The Artist Evolution, a full-service agency building successful brands, marketing tools, and campaigns, and also the author of the best-selling book, Don't Buy a Duck. And now, let's begin today's Leadership Series interview.
Welcome to the Business Leadership Series, where our goal is to inspire you to become the best leader that you can be. We've got Kourtney Barrett in the studio with us today. She is the founder and COO of Junk Brands, which we've had some of our team already come in and talk about how much they love the product. Kourtney, welcome to the program today.
Thank you, Derek. Thanks for taking interest in me and my company. Excited to share with you guys today.
I love one of the reasons we have this podcast is to learn from rock star entrepreneurs at different various stages that they're in. So you have a really cool journey that you're in the course of right now. Some things about your line. You've got Junk for the NBA, Junk for Reebok, CrossFit, wholesale relationships with several national stores. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a journey.
So I want to kind of hear about, I've been an entrepreneur since I was a kid, or I want to be an entrepreneur since I was a kid. Always just fascinated with growing and building things. I'd love to hear your story of I know you've got a background with your family being entrepreneurial. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about your story. Yeah,
so let's see. We'll say that Bentonville, starting my business in Northwest Arkansas, has played a big part of it. I moved here in 1990 when I was 10, and my father started an environmental company, and he still has it today, but I was really raised being kind of nurtured by entrepreneurs and being groomed in a sense that, yes, I can with all aspects of business.
Right.
So being raised in Bentonville and with a family of entrepreneurs really got me in the right mindset to probably activate what was within me anyway, to take risks and, not pay too much attention to when ideas aren't smiled on by others, as far as, looking at what I do today with the headband company and manufacturing in the U.S., hearing the word no never really had much weight to me. But my story started really in Northwest Arkansas. My husband and I both went to college at U of A, and then I went on to finish at JBU, and really have had a passion for business and innovating from the very beginning. As far back as I can remember, I've been tinkering with something. Yeah. And in 2011, we launched Junk Brands, and it's kind of a funny story. We started two businesses that year. One was peri-urban for backyard farming, and one was junk headbands. And we really didn't know which one would stick, but we got started, and I had 2 kids and 1 on the way, and my husband had about a year of time that he was willing to help me get a business started. And so we got an RV, and we made headbands, and we imported in chicken coops for backyard farming, and we took a road trip across the United States.
Awesome.
And we actually put those chicken coops on Craigslist, and wherever they sold is where we would travel and meet those people and sell the chicken coop, but then also would stop in at athletic stores and CrossFit boxes and get their feedback on the headbands and pick up wholesale accounts. So it was kind of a...
So cool. I mean, this is, first of all, to have the support of your spouse, which I have a very supportive spouse as well, who's taken this crazy journey with me. But I read part of your story where you said you were at Starbucks and you said, hey, I've got the next year and I'm going to dedicate that to
that's exactly
That's
right.
really cool. But how exciting for those that are risk takers. And we talked to someone earlier who said they're not risk takers, which is great. And, but I love the risk side of the entrepreneurial world as well. It's cool that you guys, so you basically were traveling with the kids as well?
Yes, all the kids and all of our stuff, and we went across the country, and we met some wonderful people. We picked up our first wholesale accounts, and it was really through that journey, it was really the headbands that we realized, number one, there's a niche here that needs to be filled.
Okay.
And secondly, this is something we can take on and probably make a big difference and a big impact. So we were able to come back and analyze those two things. We packaged up peri-urban and the assets with it and sold that on to another entrepreneur here in Northwest Arkansas, and took a sidestep and went forward full speed with Junk Brands at that time.
Wow. So it sounds wild and crazy on one side, then it sounds very methodical on the other.
It just so happens. The hindsight looks methodical, but it
right. Okay.
really
so
wasn't.
that's what I'm wondering is how much chaos or uncertainty was in the early days, and then how much How many times were there where you were looking at it in the heart of it all and going, what are we doing here in Wyoming or whatever you were traveling?
That could still be today.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, just kidding.
That's the journey.
Yeah. So I think along every step of the way, you analyze: am I doing the right thing? Can I do this better? Is this the best investment for my business? Are we headed down the right path? And
Right.
I think if I look back over the last 5 years of building Junk Brands, there's a daily assessment, honestly, that goes on where you pivot or you press forward. So I think it, in the hindsight, it looks like it was very strategic and methodical, but really it was a lot of chaos where you kind of sift it out and just you grab what's solid at the bottom and you build upon it.
That's cool. And how important would Junk Brands be in existence today, or would it be as successful as it is if you hadn't just been willing to hit the road like that?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think Bo and I try to involve adventure in everything we do. We got to have fun while we're doing it. So it would probably still be successful. We just would have started a different way. Hitting the road with a family, going across the country, selling headbands specifically is a non-traditional story, but yet so many great American stories are built off of some odd story like that.
Right.
So for us, it allowed us an adventure, some great family time while exploring Junk Brands and other ideas. So, I think it was just our path for step one of where we are today.
Cool. So you've disrupted the headband industry, or
I hope so.
or revitalized it. Yeah. So what is the goal of Junk Brands? To be a lifestyle brand? I mean, what's your vision?
So Junk Brands, today we're focusing on innovating in headwear to produce really premium quality, awesome products. We want to manufacture as most as we can where it makes sense in the United States, but realizing that some things cannot be made here is realistic as well. So today we manufacture our headbands. We import fabric, and then we manufacture around 17 steps here through sublimation, in our cut and sew facility in Bentonville. We're really focusing to raise the bar with headwear and also to build a lifestyle brand that can really get in the grind, get in the grit with you. Looking at the fringe sports and that type of personality and that culture that it represents is where Junk wants to play.
So it seems like you could go so many directions as an entrepreneur. We have good ideas and bad ideas often, right? And that could be in one day. How do you stay focused enough so that you grow your core brand and stay with your vision and don't get distracted or do things that might derail you from being as successful as you can be?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would bet that most entrepreneurs struggle with that. I'm one of those as well. I think really having to have the discipline of staying focused has been something I've had to learn through the years. I read a book a couple years back by Bill Rancic that just simply talked about dividing your day into 2 days every day, where at 8 a.m. I come through and I really write down what do I need to get done by noon, what are my priorities, and then what's the fun stuff that I'd like to do if I have extra time and get through that. And then at 12, I have a reassessment and then have the second thing happen for the second half of the day. I do that most days. I go back to old school with pad and paper. I want to see the line item and I want to scratch it off when it's complete.
Right.
So that's probably the only old school thing I still do, and haven't implemented technology there to be up with times. But I enjoy the discipline of writing it down, and then achieving it.
It's cool that angle of having 2 days. And we've talked to someone recently that has Mondays off where they're not allowed to go in the office, and they just have their day. They hit like 3 coffee shops and they tinker, and then Friday they off site with family. But the idea of 2 days in one day, I like that.
It works well for me.
I think I'm gonna try that. Instead of mixing it all up too much together. So how important has it been to have the support of family and to have the background that you had with your family being entrepreneurs? What has that done for you? How has that set you up?
Yeah, that's been a big part. Being raised in a family of entrepreneurs, my grandfather, my relatives, both on my husband's side, he's got extended family that are entrepreneurs. My dad, most of my sisters, I'm one of 4 daughters, and most of them have either married entrepreneurs or are entrepreneurs. So it's kind of at every angle. I think being surrounded by people that are highly motivated, that are mentors in my life, that are achievers, that have good perspective and are well-grounded and sounded has played a major part in helping me feel secure enough to step out and take risks, knowing that if something were to happen, maybe my family would help me through or my friends would console me. Also, my husband, we're on the same page, and that's we're both willing to take risks, and I cannot imagine I would be where I am today or even have the business I have if we had not been willing to risk together and to kind of complement each other's styles of leadership. We work together both at Junk Brands. He's the CMO of the company and so much more, but if I had to give a label, that's what it would be. And, you know, having his support and just being on the same page with him there as a married couple, it wouldn't even exist without that.
That's cool. So you talked about having mentors.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere where you talked about Hannah's Candles or someone from there. How important has mentorship been for you? I also think it's really cool, by the way, that you can sit at a dinner table and have all this advice from different entrepreneurs at a Thanksgiving dinner.
It's most interesting.
That's really cool. And conversations do revolve around business, don't they?
Yes. It doesn't matter really what type of business. It seems like you can gain very valuable feedback and insights from anyone that has had to grow a business, be profitable, manage a bottom line, hire people, fire people. So some of those things are consistent
and family
across
will probably
all
give
lines.
you some honest feedback too, won't they?
Yes, and some very constructive criticism.
Yeah, that's right. So tell me about mentorship. How important has it been for you to have that kind of support?
Yeah, I have been very fortunate to have excellent mentors for most of my life. A lot of them in the business realm up here. As I started and grew Junk Brands, I have had a council of different people in my life where I've been able to go and just bounce ideas off of. I remember in the early days of Junk Brands asking one particular mentor, should I go with a branded product or non-branded? Should I build a brand or should I hit the mass market? Looking at Bentonville, obviously Walmart is here, and being able to have distribution across lots of the big boxes versus building a direct-to-consumer brand was something that had to be very, very well thought out and analyzed, and looking at the timing. So just gaining mentorship from people that are in the direct-to-consumer business and people that have experienced rolling out distribution with big boxes, and then size of company and manufacturing and really all angles. I've been able to build relationships here that have really helped me through lots of those challenges and still do today. The challenges just get different. They don't ever go away.
Yeah. Well, this is a great area too to have that kind of development.
Yes.
So are you the number one men's headband?
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
that's
number
awesome.
one search men's headband on the market.
That's cool. That's really awesome.
Yeah. So if you look at men's headbands, really men do sweat. They sweat a lot, and everybody wants to look good while they're doing it. So when you go online and you search for headbands, you'll see that there's a lot of women's options, but there's really not that many headbands or sweatbands for men. So we've really been able to get loud with men, and of course with women too, but specifically having an amount of effort focused on men has allowed us quick traction in that market.
Yeah, that's cool. So when you're going into a new business like this, and yes, mentors help you and guide you with some things like, are you going overseas and whatever it might be, how have you adapted, and what surprises did you have when you launched this brand that might have surprised you or that were unexpected as you were growing to the next level?
Yeah, I think, I would say everything has been a surprise. I'm still surprised today. Yeah. I do not have a retail background, but I have been in some serious retail school over the last 5 years learning about retail. So I think that some surprises has been, it was advised to probably not manufacture in the U.S. from time to time. And that was something that was important to both Bo and I to at least try before we would export. And we've been able to research and test and learn and adapt a manufacturing process that works well for us and integrate in technology that gives us an edge and an ability to be very efficient and to not have to hold a lot of inventory. So being able to kind of look at the way manufacturing has been over the last 100 years or so, and then say, how can we do it differently? Yeah. How can we change this problem to fit what we want to do and how we want to do it? And today, I'll say proudly that we've been able to integrate that technology to build special APIs that help the back end flow quickly and efficiently while allowing us, a same-day shipment or a 2-day shipment.
Wow, which is critical for you to be successful in your business.
And to compete as the face of retail is changing.
Right, yeah. So are you in retail stores as well, like big box
Yes,
stores?
we do have wholesale accounts. We're in several big box stores. We also have a line of events where we go to events and sell direct to consumer there. We have a custom line where we'll take your logo and put it on our headband for teams or for stores.
Yeah.
And then we have our direct to consumer through our retail store in Bentonville at our headquarters. And then through our junkbrands.com.
Wow, very cool. So how do you find, so you're a mom, you're a COO, you are a wife, you're doing all these different roles in an ever-changing business that surprises you every day, and an entrepreneur and all of your other responsibilities. How do you find balance?
Yeah, well, I have learned through the years that I really do have to take time for myself. I have to go back to my first love of what do I enjoy, why do I enjoy doing it, and then how am I going to feel good about myself at the end of the day with all of the pressures and the pulls that are on me. So my day goes a little something like this. I wake up early. If I can get a workout in, that's ideal. I pray and meditate. I'm a Christian, and I try to get grounded first thing in the morning. And then I get my kids up, get them going, and then Bo and I have a cup of coffee. This is non-negotiable. Every day, and we've got these 2 chairs in our entry room. We sit there and we get grounded and we talk with each other with our cup of coffee uninterrupted about what's today or what's on your mind or what's going on or what do we hope to talk about at the end of the day. And that's just kind of a 20 to 30 minute time frame where we slow the pace intentionally and we enjoy a cup of coffee and just chit chat. And then from that moment until I see him at the end of the day, it is blazing guns, hell's bells, going 90 to nothing.
That's great. So is the morning conversation, is there
I
work?
cannot tell you what
is there work involved
sometimes,
in that?
Yeah. Depends on the meetings of the day.
I still like that though, because in my family, we find ourselves, and we do make that time, but we find ourselves, the chaos can start early, right? And so, and I mean chaos in an enjoyable way.
Just
and we can
busyness.
run past each other.
Right.
And so, and that can become a habit. So that's great to sit down every day. Every week. That's awesome.
Every single day. And we find that our kids drive a lot of security from that as well. And we feel good when the family feels good and when everyone feels like they've had not just quantity of time, but quality time.
Right.
So just taking the time to stop, put everything else aside, focus on each other, make sure that mom and dad maintain a good, strong love, romantic relationship so that the kids can.
And they know to give you that time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. All right, I'm learning a lot here today, everybody. We're making some changes at the house next week. That's awesome. So let me ask you a few other questions. So tell me about leading a team. How do you create a culture, an environment that you want in your workplace, and what's your leadership style?
Yeah, well, leading a team it's fun and it's interesting. You've got a lot of different age groups of people that work at Junk Brands. Obviously, the millennial group is coming up, and they really like to be tied in with things that they feel like make a difference in this world and enjoy what they're doing and having the social aspect. Right. I would say my leadership style is hands off until hands on needs to happen. So we try to make great hires so that people can come in and hit the ground running. There was a time there for several years where we hired people and then trained them just to download what I know onto them. Now our company has grown to a size where I need to hire people that know more than I do. And there's not a lot of training that I can do in that situation, but just arming them with what they need and encouraging them and incentivizing them to go after their task and to own it. And I would probably say my leadership style is kind of maybe odd for an entrepreneur or for a growing retail brand, in that we want to build a culture that is fun and exciting. We want people to have ownership in their line of business, and we expect an A-team. So you've got to be accountable for what needed to get done, but we want you to have a lot of fun while you're doing it and to really be passionate about the brand personally if you want to stay on board and be a part of the company. So if that answers the question.
What do you look for in a hire? What do you look for first when you're hiring somebody?
Yeah, I think, I'm non-traditional in that as well. I don't necessarily care a lot about what your education is. I care a lot more about the experiences that you've had and if your ability to be a team player is on board with the company. If you're familiar with our product and you really, really like it, that's how we've hired a lot of the people that we have today are just from what we call junkies.
Yeah,
People that
they're
have,
already passionate. They're already brand
that have
ambassadors.
contacted us and want to be a part. So I like that. You know, being an outdoor enthusiast or having some sort of athletic interest is important to us because that's at the heartbeat of our brand.
Right.
But I think just getting a good gauge for people on can they do what needs to be done when the tough gets going,
Right.
and are they willing to stick it out and grow with us, and if really do they want to be a part of where we're going and what we're doing, and no matter if they've had impact or not, if someone has a change of heart and wants to pursue something different, then we want them to pursue something different. We want people that want to be there.
Sure. That's great. Thanks for sharing all
Yeah.
this. So, and I feel really like I'm prodding so many questions.
No,
that's what we do
fine.
here. So,
Yeah, sure.
So tell me, and I haven't looked at our questions at all. So tell me a little bit about, what you're most passionate about. What drives you?
Well, let's see. A lot of things drive me. I'm a very driven person. I'm ambitious, and I think I'm passionate about, doing what I feel like when I reach, hopefully, Lord willing, 80, 90 years old, and I look back at the history of my life, I want to be sure that there are some boxes checked off. And some of those are staying married to my husband. I want to keep him, and I want to stay married, and I want to enjoy this ride. Raising my 3 kiddos to be independent, to be launched into this world with no emotional debt, with the securities and the abilities to utilize their gifts. And then I want to have utilized my talents, and which I feel like lie in business and leadership. And I want to be able to enjoy what I'm doing. I want to innovate. I'm very passionate about innovating in space and being able to monetize those efforts and enjoy the ride. Yeah. So for me, sometimes I feel like, I have to be tricked into believing that it's fun for me to really get out there and want to continue doing it. So that just speaks to I have a passion for life.
Right.
I enjoy the journey. I enjoy stopping to smell the roses and then thinking about how can we increase the color of these roses or the fragrance of these roses, and just kind of looking for opportunities everywhere, and just really enjoying every day.
Cool. So how do you deal with setbacks? I mean, I get asked often about failure and scars, and we want more wins and losses. But tell me, when you have a setback or when things don't go as expected, what is your approach to either understanding the context of your life or your product or your business? How do you address those things?
Well, honestly, with setbacks, and they do happen, I feel like I kind of have this guard in my mind that I won't really let a setback fully have its full impact until I've processed it for a week. Yeah. I don't want to have emotional peaks and valleys that will wreck me. So I try to hear of a setback or understand the setback, and then just kind of let it sit and let it have a portion of my day, but not the entire day. Right. And then I come back to it little by little over the next couple days, and then really dive in deep if it's a big one later. So with setbacks, you just work through the challenges. The answers are out there. I don't feel like we're reinventing the wheel. Really with anything. So I go to a mentor, I go to my spouse, I surround myself with people that are smarter than I am, and then Google normally has a lot of good ideas about something. So I just research, find the answer, implement it, and try to keep emotions out of it.
Cool. So what's next for you?
Well, I'm going to make some more headbands later this afternoon. Short term is focusing on junk brands. Growing the brand, growing our products, hitting our goals and having fun while we're doing it. I think as time goes on, I've got a lot of interest. I have a lot of passions, and I think I'll just keep my eyes and ears open and enjoy where I'm at today and enjoy the growing of junk brands and let what next unfold as it does.
Nice. Okay. So if we want to learn more about you, where can we go?
Well, for more about Kourtney, I really love to give back to the community. I love to help and encourage other entrepreneurs. So I would say if there's a certain business question that you feel like I might be able to help with, I don't mind being pinged on my Instagram, which is at Kourtney Faith Barrett. You can check out our website and follow Junk Brands at Junk Brands on Instagram. We have a Snapchat channel as well, Junk Brands, and then junkbrands.com. But me personally, if you're fortunate enough to visit Bentonville, come stop by the store or ping me with Kourtney Barrett at Junk Brands. Kourtney Barrett at gmail.com or Kourtney at junkbrands.com. And if I have the time, I'd be happy to respond back and help you with your question.
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
No, I don't think so. This was fun. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for being our guest today. We look forward to following your brand. You guys are doing some really cool things, and I appreciate your advice.
Thank you, Derek. Pleasure to be here. Bye.
You've been listening to the Business Leadership Series, where we engage with leaders who are making an impact on their worlds and who want to share their knowledge and experience for your personal and professional growth. This interview was designed to inspire you to become the best leader you can